want to look at things. Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Test.
Okay.
All right, looks good, sounds good. Welcome, everyone, to the Foolish Tech Show. It is Tuesday, and it's Prime Day, if everyone out there didn't know. So go check out the Prime store. But before you do, why don't you check out our new Amazon link? And hold on a second, I'll get you a link here. But basically, we have a Chrome extension that you can install, and every time that you use Amazon in the US currently, it will allow you to send us a donation kind of style thing. But it doesn't cost you anything, and it is a great deal from Amazon. So there's the link there. Nick, we can't hear you if you're talking to us. Nope, still can't hear you. It's fun that you just appear off the camera.
Okay. This button to mute it is going so bad, and I was just in the bathroom before the show, and I was afraid you were going to start it, and I was like, for a minute, and then anyway. It's Amazon associate thing. We get a tiny little percentage of your purchases. It's not stacked onto your purchase price at all. It's just their referral program thing, and we were doing it, and I threw out this blog post because you did throw out the blog post. Thank you.
I did.
Yeah, well, you can read about that there, and I would throw out the direct link to
I got it.
you're awesome. Well, I already okay.
Well, yours has the details, so.
Oh yeah. But yeah, use that if you're not already using someone else's codes. Actually, if you use someone else's codes, it should not replace that. And it'll put a tiny little our icon in your what you did, but in Chrome. But we're gonna, I don't know. Michael's gonna get an option to remove that later. It's just that'll take you to the Amazon deals quick link for today, because yeah, you might need that to support us in our
You
endeavor.
can also right-click and hide it in the Chrome menu if you prefer to do that.
Oh, sheesh. You can just do that?
Yeah. That puts it inside the menu, like where you have the top bar has a bunch of Chrome extensions, where you can put a bunch there. So anyway, we have those, and if you'd like to check out those links that we're posting, jump over to foolishtechshow.com.
Yeah, man.
Join our IRC chat there, and we can repost them for you again if you'd like, or they'll be posted with the show later. So, yeah, definitely check that out. Also check out Prime Day. Last year it was really good. I got some cool things like this mouse really cheap, but today the deals just haven't been as good, I guess. So.
I know.
Any nothing. Let me check.
Nothing like spectacular. Maybe I'm thinking maybe they're saving stuff for end of day prime time.
Okay, and these are specific deals, or this is not? I mean, this doesn't affect all of their inventory, right? I mean,
no, they just have a list of prime day deals.
Okay, and those deals, are they
like
and you can subset search them, right? Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
And here's another one, starter deal, but it requires a code also on Prime Day, but it's the $50 Amazon gift card. If you buy one, or you buy a $50 Amazon gift card, you get $10 credit on tacked on top of that. So sounds good to me. That's 20% right there for you. So buy that and then turn around and use that to buy something else today with our link tracking or affiliate. You know what I'm saying. Button. Do the button.
Hey, Philthex. Hey, Futures Tech, Eric and Nels and Cherie,
Right.
Glenn and Shook, if y'all are there, and DG Murdoch the Third as well. Welcome.
Yeah, man. Everybody's shuffling in today. Well, a lot of people anyway. We only got 3 Futures Tech people here. What?
I think you're right about
They're working.
somewhat lack of good
deals.
good deals, yeah.
Yeah, there's not a ton of them that I've seen. There's the $33 Kindle for Kids or something, which looks kind of, I haven't looked into it actually, but.
There were a couple of laptops.
My kid's Kindle right here. Oh, I don't even use it. It's too restrictive, the Amazon Fire stuff. And I guess it's good for the kid, but maybe not. I'm not sure.
So Eric is getting Bluetooth earbuds. That's cool.
Who's 8 out?
8 out? What? Oh.
I guess he's saying they're out of work today? Oh, out on a job. Out.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's also just become saturated that we don't need anything anymore.
Yeah.
Like maybe America is finally coming to a point where we
You're silly. I know what you're saying, and that's silly.
It's not. I don't think so.
You say we don't need more? We need more of everything. Come on, man.
I don't think we do. I think we finally saturated ourselves to the point where we're like, it's just stuff. We don't need stuff. We need more experience.
Good luck with that, by the way.
Okay, I'll remember that when packages come in with your name on it, I'll just send it back. No. He said he doesn't need any more stuff. Thank you.
What? Oh.
We should all sell everything and go travel the world.
But.
You don't need stuff. You need experiences.
Well, you don't get.
Oh, did you see? Okay, so did you see the upcoming? Are you looking at the upcoming Prime deals?
No.
Wait.
Okay, so yeah, they do. They
ones
advertise the ones that they're going to be doing this evening. It looks like, and I'm looking, and
don't ruin this. Don't spoil it for us. Spoiler alert, people.
Nick.
You spoil everything. What? Yes.
The Amazon Echo is $50 off.
Yeah. You want one? I don't.
She does want one.
I still have a Fire TV in the box sitting up there that I've never opened because they put Alexa in it.
But doesn't the TV make you use the remote to talk to it?
It does, and I have not researched into how active that remote is without your knowledge.
Oh, there's a good.
I'll just shove some junk into it with the.
Take the batteries out.
Yeah.
Activate now, robot.
Oh yeah, just grab a universal remote and do the learning thing.
Looks like they're gonna have some Bluetooth speakers. Looks like they have some good UPSs. Interested to see that CyberPower UPS. See what the price is after the discount. What is the discount? 20%? What is it?
Brantley, back to your experiences. You're talking about getting experiences. I mean, you can get experiences by doing what you're saying, but you can't necessarily gain experience personally by doing that just because you go through other experiences. I would say that experience, I was reading something the other day. I just wanted to say that I feel like experience is what you do with your experiences, not, and a lot of people just don't do anything with them. And that's another topic from something else that I'm not even going to bring up, but.
Yeah. No, I can see that, but you have more opportunity to do things with your experiences if you've had more experiences.
That is true. I mean, you do have to have one before the other. But speaking of experiences, just let me know when we can start talking about Pokemon Go.
Sure, go ahead. Nick is super excited about it. He's already a level 7.
No, I didn't know it was. I was just, man, no, I have not played it, but just doing some
You should
reading.
do it. It gets you out and exercising.
No.
How are those morning walks going?
Huh?
Those morning walks will be a lot easier if you're catching Pokemon.
I think I tried that once last year. I know I talked about it a little bit, but it wasn't working out.
That's what I
It
was
wasn't
saying.
conducive to my schedule. Yeah.
Yes, the Futures Tech crew are very excited about Pokemon as well.
Oh, that's not good. Then I have an article for you. Well, no, I was just reading
the
this.
depressing one yet.
Well, yeah, I'm going for the depressing one here. And this is Pokemon Go could be a death sentence for a black man. This is a blog post from someone who started playing it and then started thinking about how suspicious he looked and the implications of that. So he adds it to the extremely long list of things white people can do without fear of being killed. And there's some good points into it too, but I mean, we were just talking about this earlier, and I was like, "Gosh, you know, I mean, after all the news lately, like, yeah, that's."
Other news as well is Pokemon Go has already surpassed Tinder in usage. It's at 5% of Android devices, where Tinder is like at 2% of Android devices.
That's an interesting statistic.
Both of which are on my phone.
Not even mentioned on the wiki. Safety concerns and controversy. Sorry. Although armed robberies are interesting too, and I love that. I know, Shri, the iOS, but that's only for iOS on the full access to your Google, or it's supposed to be only for iOS, the article I read.
It is only iOS has full access to your Google account. So if you have an iPhone and you're playing Pokemon Go, they may be sending emails for you.
Or yeah, I mean, and Brantley just talked about no one's even brought up the tracking GPS concerns that.
Yeah.
You
know, Niantic knows everything you do in Google or in Pokemon Go, and everywhere you go when you have the app open, where you have the app open. Plus, Google inherently knows all of that information as
well. Or they already know it. So. Yeah, I started linking to this, by the way, just before we move on from this Malwarebytes article, which also talks about Pokemon Pokecoins and some scam sites are already popping up.
Yeah.
So watch out for that junk.
Install it only from the Play Store because there's apparently a lot of malware-ridden versions out there. So,
and the Pokemon Lure modules. I'm sorry. To get mugged. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Those aren't to get mugged.
Well, yeah, they're for mugging people, aren't they?
No, it's you. Just be aware of your surroundings at any time you go outside. So.
In the daylight.
The Chive has a bunch of good Pokemon links, and I'm gonna post those. These first two are safe for work. The last one is probably not safe for work, but it's a good one, and it's more what the Chive is.
Yeah, it's safe for this work. Let me see that. Ooh, Breaking Bad.
So I don't know. I think it's pretty fun, but it is like a more basic version of Ingress and has no social features at all. Like you have absolutely no reason to interact with other Poke people.
Oh, you know, on that last link, there is a promising link of a police officer and a black man standing together playing Pokemon Go, supposedly.
Oh yeah, Futures Tech Nell, that is true. Both Ingress and Pokemon Go. Ingress actually recently added that warning. But both of them say, be aware of your surroundings on the opening screen for the app.
They better.
Yeah.
And watch where you're going when you cross the street, too. I can't believe Malwarebytes called that augmented reality. And I can't believe they said it was the first popular one. I know you say that you never
Well,
saw this with Ingress, but
it has. Well, see, that's the
different levels of popularity.
Pokemon Go does have augmented reality in it, but it's not all augmented reality.
I mean, does it run on Google Glass? I mean, what are we talking about here?
But it doesn't have to be that to be augmented. Like basically, if you're using your camera to see things, that's what I see as augmented reality. The map that they show that you travel around in, I don't feel that's augmented reality. That's just the map, and you're playing on a map. It's just like that. It's like you use a real map as your game level. You wouldn't have to actually be there.
That's Google Maps.
Unless there's overlay onto vision, it's not.
It's only
Taken care of.
yeah, the map you only have to be there because of the phone. But with Pokemon Go, when you're actually like trying to catch Pokemon or you're in a battle in a gym, they do have the camera usage so that you can reality, but you'll be seeing the digital stuff laid over top of that. So that portion is augmented reality, and that's not included in Ingress. Ingress is just a map, basically.
I guess I had like a wearable was just in mind, or just an overlay of your vision, but maybe.
Yeah, it is still an overlay, but it's like Google goggles, but instead of like they would put stuff on the screen of a search result.
Yeah, I'm on level 7, right? You're explaining it to me right now.
No. Yeah, Johnny is really bad at playing the game while driving. He like just stops in the middle of the road to catch Pokemon. I'm like, you can't stop here. This is the middle of the road.
Well, I'd like to point out that I could stop there
a big issue with it
because I did, and nobody did anything.
Last week, all over the place.
What?
Is that what's been happening in the last week all over the place? People out on the highway stopping and.
That's quite possible because that's what Johnny does when she's driving. So.
Yeah. Now, couldn't some of this criticism have been equally applied to Ingress?
Oh, I see the.
And that's what I was also saying is that it's vastly more popular. So I think we'll see a lot of the issues that we thought would be more prevalent in Ingress. Like in Ingress, most of the people are concerned about looking suspicious and causing issues and other things.
Yeah, the first time I did it, I was concerned about that, actually.
But with Ingress, like it's not as many people. So like Pokemon Go, I believe has a far larger user base than.
Yeah, definitely, I would agree with that. It's a difference in size.
But calling it the first popular.
And I would still say it could be an augmented reality because you can go out into reality and it's different. But I don't think augmented reality should be anything other than the overlay of your images. Like that's what I feel augmented should be. But yeah, it's not the first game of its kind, but it is a lot more popular than the other ones have been. And that's where I think issues are going to be because Ingress has conventions basically where they have people come and play games and they just pick random towns. They don't tell these towns anything about, hey, we're going to have a couple thousand people and walk around all day on this Saturday. And you can imagine a few thousand people walking around, all looking at their phones, walking around in big groups.
Well,
to cause some
why
issues.
doesn't Google monetize this by saying, hey, cities can pay to have us host Ingress events in your locales?
They probably could. I don't know exactly how all of the stuff they do. Like in Ingress, we know that they get companies to purchase in-game or sponsor in-game items, basically. So like locations for portals have been monetized. Like Jamba Juice was a company that had every one of their locations turned into a portal. Zipcar had passcodes that they gave out. If you rented a zip car, you got a
So
code.
if you truly want to, you
Motorola
can
had
get
a
involved
bunch
with
of
it
fun.
already. Yeah. So
Glenn,
it would just be up to the cities
But
to
I
contact
don't
them.
know how Pokemon Go is monetizing other than just the in-store purchases, which, by the way, Nintendo went up like a few $1 billion.
Yeah, anywhere from 7 to 11 billion dollars increased in value in the course of just 2 days. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
Glenn, man.
And that's B with a billion.
What?
And Glenn's multiplying in our
His
chat
link.
room. He
Glenn's link is my last link.
yeah, those links are getting
Oh, that was your last link. Hey.
similar.
You really like that link.
I clicked the one before your last link.
Oh.
35 photos.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha.
that one's funny too.
Yeah, no worries. I've been in
Yeah.
here 3 times myself in the past. So,
Your laptop. Oh, he's on his laptop playing Pokemon Go because there's that Windows bit.
The Windows phone.
It's not like there's a Windows. I know. I know that was a stab by malware by it said Windows phone. But,
it is pretty exciting, and I do recommend playing it. And if you don't like the simplicity or you want more social aspects of it, check out Ingress because it's the same thing, just more complicated. And you get.
Hey, so what is the deal with the social in the Pokemon Go? Because my implications are.
Literally,
I'm
there
also
is
thinking
no
about.
social. There's no social at all.
Well, with the lure thing, like, I mean, do you name the lure or?
No, basically, so you have Pokestops, which are basically just random places like art and churches, and they used a very small subset of portals from Ingress as the Pokestops. And on a Pokestop, you can put a lure, which other people can see. That's one of the only times you can do stuff that other people can see. But they can come to that place because Pokemon are going to be drawn there, and you have a higher chance of catching ones in that location. So more people go there just to play. So that means more people are going to be standing around, but you do everything in game on your own phone. There's absolutely nothing that you talk to someone else or do anything else with anyone.
Well, see, I was just wondering what indicators you could place into things like that, or just with the game, because and just for some reason Craigslist crossed my mind, and I haven't used Craigslist like ever, but I did browse some of the local listings around my area. And there's an awful lot of random sex stranger things going on there just because it's a resort, like it's a vacation spot. So, and I was just wondering, that happens
everywhere. It's not just vacation.
Well, I know it's everywhere, but here it's like way more prevalent than it was there with where I live in Proctor's area or Michael's area. It's way bigger. And I was just
all the areas apparently.
But I was just wondering, like your tweens, you're in your household, getting out, and it sounds like a safety concern for me as a parent, just as for one.
There are. Ingress didn't allow people to under 13 to play for the longest time. I don't see how they could do that with.
Well, Google doesn't allow you to have an email account under 13 right now, just because I don't know why they don't want to charge you the 50 cents or whatever to validate your age, but something Microsoft does. But
I didn't see any of those requirements on Pokemon Go, so I feel like anyone can play it. But it's the same. I feel that that's not up to people. I feel that's up to parenting skills and being aware.
There's always a question of parenting skills. There's always a question of that, and I've looked into that recently firsthand and had some discussions about it, and it's not always like it's not always like 5 minutes outside of your supervision is safe, and there's never a point in time where a child is 5 minutes is less than 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't be with them all
drown
day.
in water
And it doesn't matter what you teach them or what they know either, to an extent, when things are attractive to people, the way things are promoted these days, like Pokemon Go versus, Craigslist. I mean,
well, and see, like a lot of people have I think you actually, and you and Proctor, are of the same mind of the not wanting to give kids cell phones.
yeah.
I would say that's the opposite of what I would do. Is I would give them cell phones, but I would control that usage. So I wouldn't use cell phones.
Well, no, and I would too. And I did. Our teen had a cell phone. She broke it. Now she doesn't get another. In a fit of anger. But I would totally do a for any age. Those little, like, you can only call 4 numbers kind of things.
Yeah. Well, no, I would get them a smartphone so that they could do things like this, and I would encourage doing things like this, but they would do it while they're with me, kind of thing.
See, I could deal with that if there were more controls for the software and the internet over the smartphones.
Yeah.
How about if you only give them the phone when you want them to have it, and you're
that's what I was about to say. Is I would just be taking the phone away.
That's a good point.
Or at the least periodically taking it from them and checking through it and doing everything. Like that's part of where I feel like the parenting side fails, is they just give them a device and say, okay,
have at it.
And the kids are like, well, we need to go outside to do this, and they're like, all right, we'll go to the park.
Or even worse, I know nothing about this device, but here, you figure it out.
No, that's how most parents give kids.
Yeah.
They don't have a clue what the thing does. They just give it.
Why don't they make a lockdown Android for kids? And I mean, other than Kindle, but I mean, like
Amazon
smartphone
does it.
But an actual, like a smartphone?
I don't know if the Amazon smartphone does that or not, but
I mean, I'm talking like because I agree with what you're saying, but the controls aren't there.
Google's moving towards that with their different users on phones, but I didn't like that interface when I tried it. And it like made you download each app twice if you wanted to install it on there or use it, and it's that they do have a long way to go with those, but as far as I would look at a cell phone, I know a cell phone in and out. So if I gave my kid a cell phone and I took it from, I'd be able to check Michael,
you're messing up.
What am I messing up?
Quit posting Amazon links without our code on it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't he specifically address that directly to you last night? The code in the chat?
Yeah, he told me what the code is, yeah.
So, yeah. Well, after the query parameter, so you would then use, like, that's already got ampersands on it. So you would use an ampersand instead of question mark.
Yeah, and actually...
Like...
Okay, it does do it. I was going to say, if you have the extension installed, it will add the link to it for you.
Yeah, we just can't count on everyone to get to, oh yeah, we need to link that again, just in case you didn't get it earlier. Late to the chat. Late to the show. Oh yeah, I'll do that. Wait. I see. For those late to the show.
Are you posting it again? Here's our blog topic about it.
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. So yeah, check that out. Doesn't cost you anything. It's really nice to us.
Not from us or Amazon. Just help us out, as long as, if you're not using someone else's code, which you're clicking a lot of links today, you're probably using someone's code anyway, but. Oh yeah, I meant to look at this thing. Michael, you're just blasting stuff in the chat.
I'm notating them.
Well, notate them on spaces or something, and we'll blast them when we talk about them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I get
What are you
lost.
talking
Yeah, let's talk about them. I'm getting like,
All
yeah.
right. Well, again, there was a real good deal there, but it'd be nice if you could tack on our code to the end of it. That you purchased roughly a terabyte SSD recently, and I'm pretty sure you paid a good bit more than that price.
Price?
The price is 165.
And what's the
It's a pretty good model. It would perform virtually identically to the Samsung Evos, roughly.
Really? Yeah, I got the Evo.
Yeah, it seems like it's right on par with them. And in some cases, there's some benchmarks which show in certain ways that it could be faster. But it's a good drive. I mean, it's a good performing drive for uh, um, SATA for a SATA SSD. And that price you really can't beat it. And that almost starts to even look good for mass storage in a server.
Oh yeah,
A
I paid
huge
$300.
array of. Yeah, and now the Samsung is a good, it's a good brand, and typically Sandisk does try to undercut them price wise, but not to this extent. But anyway, something to possibly take advantage of. A couple other things that I had mentioned. We've talked about Linux Mint being a really good desktop Linux OS, and apparently Zdnet agrees with us on that. So I don't know. I haven't read their article yet, but it'd be nice to see their take on it and if they agree on the same things we agree about. And of course, the robots are coming to murder us all. Or no, right? We're pro robots, so the robots don't abuse the robots. But at any
I
rate,
clicked on that link and I'm like, what are you talking about?
this was just so interesting because it really looks like a freaking human. I mean, they just put a little skin on it, and you would not be able to distinguish. I mean, other than the cables that they have in those things, but I mean, I'm sure that they'd be able to do away with that. Anyway, I thought that was a little bit creepy, but interesting, and they've made a lot more advances than I actually even imagined. And
Wow, Michael, I can't believe you haven't talked about this yet.
I'm not
the-
sure what you're going to talk about.
The Apollo code was published to GitHub.
Oh yeah, I saw that briefly the other day. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't really think that there'd been some code of those types of things of some of the computers that were on board the space station duplicated in the past by other people, but nothing was ever, I don't think, uploaded to GitHub per se.
Oh man,
Um,
darn it! I wanted to get some more dude wipes.
The code inspection must be awesome, though. The one thing I did read about this is it is funny to look at some of the comments in there, including there's some reasoning on why they put in some lines of code, and some of it is very human, based upon what the astronauts were doing or what they were doing to otherwise circumvent the problem that the code was trying to fix. It's cute. It's cute. I definitely think that's worth a.
This
That's
problem
worth a
was
mention.
fixed on Apollo 14.
Yeah. Well, that's because Apollo 13 almost died because of the issue.
That was one of the comments in the GitHub as they posted about it.
Yeah. But it's just it's like real world programming. It's not like, oh, we'll see if somebody finds a bug or whatever. This is like, oh yeah, there's several guys up there, and they're gonna die if this goes wrong. There's the weight of that on a programmer's shoulders must be amazing, and it's kind of really cool to see how they operated back then, in a completely different era than what we have today. Let me see. What is that one you posted, Nick? Dude, what? Oh, dude wipes.
I was hoping they were on sale, but
And then Glenn says, one of Glenn's personalities says the WD influence. What is that in reference to? What do you mean by that exactly, Glenn? Oh,
Michael, have you talked about the Stuxnet documentary? Zero.
Yeah, I had saw that too. No, I did not really go into details on that.
I've watched it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, is it accurate. I mean, and some of the information they talk about regarding Stuxnet in our government, I'm not sure has been all completely,
They
laid
they
to
don't
rest.
have. Well, it's all classified still, and will be for like the next 30 years or
But
40
so
years.
we'll just have to sort of take that interpretation
Um,
at face value, I guess, until.
they have a couple people from the NSA that anonymously spoke to them.
Mm-hmm.
They have that, and
Oh, okay, that's good.
it was that side of it was all right, but it was just interesting watching how the rest of the world reacted to it, and us finding out that hey, somebody did this, and it was a nation state of some sort, and oh, by the way, this could really affect us in the same manner. Like, it's essentially like
Oh, it's a great discussion for everyone to have and everyone to understand. Yes, it very much could. The fact that
it's
we can launch that
essentially like launching a nuclear weapon, but you dropped the plans for that nuclear weapon all over the world when you sent it out.
No.
something like. I mean, I don't know if it's quite
It's
that
like
that
no,
bad.
that's the issue with making nuclear weapon. And actually, part of what Stuxnet was about was disrupting the Iranian
Oh, yeah, you
nuclear
know what? You're
weapon
right. You're
program.
absolutely right.
So
That is that bad. You're right. You're right.
making
I do
making
love it when
something,
Michael says that.
yeah. uh, so basically, like, making a nuclear weapon is the hard part, and knowing how to do everything and then getting everything set up just right is the hard part about it. And essentially, that's what we've done with Stuxnet is we made a super bad virus. We, as in the world, has made a super bad virus that not only infects a system, but it straight targets specific things to destroy in the real world. And that was one of the other big issues with Stuxnet is it was one of the first
It had massive real world implications for
yeah, one of
for
the
the
first.
nuclear program.
Well,
In that.
it's one of the first viruses that actually destroyed things.
Yeah, physically. In other words, this wasn't something that you could just restore from backup and and
Yeah,
recover from, like we
not
like to
just
talk
data,
about.
electronics. Like, this is
Hmm.
like destroying nuclear
Yeah. In other words, let's make it so
possibly
that it
now.
doesn't cool the reactor, it doesn't do this, or it doesn't do that. That's very serious, and this is about infrastructure. We have nuclear infrastructure in this country. We
But
have electric grid that is very not very
all of
well
that stuff
protected.
is like extremely unprotected, not
Yeah.
just not very well protected. It's not protected at all in some
Yeah,
cases.
and so probably for the same reason it was relatively easy for us to get this into Iran. I would think that another nation state who might try to target us, it would be probably not that much more difficult for them to get it into one of our places. Now, it
It
hasn't been
it
done yet, or we
apparently
haven't
kept
seen
logs
that
of
yet.
itself
Hmm.
where it got installed
Hmm.
for each versions,
Hmm.
and they tracked the first 5 installations back to 5 Iranian companies that had to do with selling nuclear stuff to the Iranian government.
Hmm.
So it went from 5 computers to around the entire world, and
I
it's
did
not
not
doing
know that.
anything except targeting those facilities.
Hmm.
It's a pretty crazy virus.
Well, it doesn't exactly jump from one nuclear power plant to another. That's not exactly how it works, but um, it,
Well, it jumps from all the computers on a network,
yeah.
and it has several methods of transmission. It infects USB drives and infects other stuff. It also had 4 0 days included in it, which a 0 day is highly rare in the first place, and usually malware writers will only use one for a particular project.
I am sure they had some inside information on some flaws that weren't exposed yet. That doesn't terribly surprise me. Um, and I mean, there's security research that'll find 4 0 days in a day and publish it all in a day. But I mean, it's typical for malware to leverage
There
that
was
many.
like
But
12 0 days.
12?
Yeah.
Last year? Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, but that's not terribly crazy. But it's impressive, I
Yeah,
guess.
was
So
some articles talking about cyber command and the military doesn't have enough appreciation of the damage that these weapons can. Are you serious?
Well, so the Obama administration created Cyber Command because the NSA has all these capabilities, but they can't use them for offense. They can only use them for defense. So they created Cyber Command, which is basically in Fort Meade, where the NSA headquarters is,
Yeah.
like on top of the NSA headquarters. So it uses all the stuff and access that the NSA has to do things offensively, which is what the NSA doesn't have the authority to do. And it was also interesting in the documentary that apparently the Department of Homeland Security went full on trying to fight this thing and warn the public about it and tell everybody about the dangers of it and how bad this is, while at the same time it was probably the NSA that was developing and distributing this malware. So we had two different departments of government fighting each other, essentially.
That's neat, especially so close by. But but that's crap. They have an appreciation of things that we have no comprehension of, and they play it off. And things that we know about, they play off. You know that. Play it down. Misinformation is the strongest weapon, I think. Especially when you're against your own.
Michael's Robot Link has skin flick music.
You just now.
Yeah.
I was like watching. I was like,
well,
oh,
again, when I say creepy, I mean creepy. Yeah, I mean. And of course, if you're into the future world of robotic adult entertainment, I'm sure those videos are eye-opening as well.
Yeah, I know it's and it is inconceivable that government departments aren't talking to each other, but that because of classified regulations, they're not talking to each other. That's a little bit different. Like the whole reason they're not able to talk is because yeah, I am as checking that. The whole reason they're not able to talk to each other about it and know about it is because of the things being classified. So pretty bad. So have y'all seen all the? And this is a rather old article about the investigation being open on Tesla for their autopilot stuff, but apparently there's been now 3 wrecks due to autopilot. The last one was in
awesome.
Montana or something, I believe. I forget where, but yeah, that's interesting that they're already getting that. What else we got?
Infographic on Donkey Kong.
Okay.
Oh wait, I did have something else.
Don't skate on a glass skateboard. It will end up exactly how you think. And yeah, Eric, I think you're completely correct because even the departments of transportations don't speak to each other very well. So or any of the forms of government sometimes will not speak to each other very well.
Oh, there's something about a privacy shield between the EU and the US and data sharing. And this actually is probably scary. Michael, read this. Read this and tell us about it tomorrow. But it looks like it's going to give, I don't know, it's awesome, just a lot of companies access to a lot of European data to move that around and between countries. I mean, Facebook scares the crap out of me already. But anyway, I'm not sure what all the implications
Yeah, I mean, this is just part of my interpretation of this is exactly part of that program that the CIA and MI6 have with the facial recognition database and stuff. It's basically, Britain is our closest partner, I guess. And certainly since Cameron's time, and certainly since the um, Bush era, George W. in this country, they've been doing intelligence work at an unprecedented level together. And this is a case where they're basically trying to I believe, get as much information as possible and share as much information as possible between the law enforcement agencies in these countries.
You and your ads. Stop. All right, I need to plug in. I just messed that up.
Now, there's Europe though. As a whole, though, has a lot of different issues. But the problem, I don't understand how this stuff jives with the whole European, the right to be forgotten, and their privacy laws and our privacy laws are completely different. And so how does this even work? Is another question I have.
It would be nice to share my Chrome plugins between profiles, just for the.
So there's a password reuse tool that you can use to check to see if a password has been leaked. So with all the data breaches and leaked passwords out there, you can use this tool to check a password against all of those compromised accounts and see if that password was used in any of those attempts, which would make it a weak password because it could be on a word list. Pretty interesting.
Password is a word anyway.
Well, I was going to say the promoted comment in that article is actually a pretty interesting read in of itself, and they were saying to stop telling people to use a password manager, but I just read the promoted article comment. It's very interesting about passphrases and password managers.
And see, and the thing about the phrases though is it's just, well, you can combine words. Anyone can, and I know you don't do anything that makes sense, but neither does a software have to do so. It just seemed to me that there would be an easy algorithm to defeat long passphrases, even still more so than just random. Yes.
Well, in that promoted comment, they were saying even if you had a word list of all the words and you tried to use a dictionary attack against that, it would still take forever just because there's so many words out there to try. And then combining those with each one is a big thing too. Glenn doesn't use leak as a password, so he can't have a password leak.
Go.
Oh, so it wasn't just the terabyte thing that went on sale with Sandisk. Apparently, it was
What?
all their stuff.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I did see Sandisk. All their micro SD cards and stuff like that seem to be on sale as well. Those are all good deals, particularly if you're into the SBCs like we are. Although I believe those, what are those max out around 200 gigs? I don't know if Sandisk actually has a 256 gig one yet, or not. But um,
I mean, but could you not just replace, I mean, a single character with a word? I mean, I mean, I know there are a lot of words, but I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
What do you mean replace a single character with a word?
In whatever algorithm you've designed to ingeniously crack phrases.
There's only X amount of characters.
I know. We make your own words, but if you make a word that is not a word, which is random characters, it's even better.
It is,
Make
but
the
other side of it, though, is
random crap.
No, the other side of it is to remember it.
Well, who needs to do that? I forgot what I ate for dinner last night.
You have to have at least one secure password that you can remember.
Well, I have one.
That's what we're talking about. Is that one should be a long passphrase of at least 5 random words.
All right, fine, one.
That's what he was saying in that comment.
Hey, do they have a Yubikey on sale on Amazon? That'd be a good thing to stick our code on. Loving it. Thank you again, Brantley, for Christmas.
Awesome. I'm glad you're using
it. I finally started using it.
Michael's gonna need a new one though, because he threw his in the trash.
Yeah, we were talking. He's like, he thought he threw it away last night. I'm like, that's not good.
Hey, Yubikey, Michael.
well, I was cleaning up. Remember those
You're not
notes?
getting anything for this Christmas.
Remember those notes? Well, anyway, those post-it notes. I was trying to clean up my desk, and I think that's where the key was, and I haven't been able to find it since. I'm gonna keep looking though. It's possible it's.
Well, today was trash day, so you better go check before they take it.
Oh.
Get digging.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's already gone.
It's Google File. I'm sorry.
It's, well, we'll see if they picked it up. They might not have.
Why would they might not have?
Well, I mean, it might have already. I mean, it's early, and they might not have come yet. So.
That's what she said.
Man,
Brantley.
so many. Gosh.
Ow, yeah, Brantley. Ouch, jeez, that was a little bit much, wasn't it?
Okay, let's continue to harp on it.
This is the Yubikey. It is not on sale for today. That's the one that we're talking about. I also have this one if you don't want if you want something more low profile. It works really great. I've had it in my laptop. It doesn't have the NFC features of the full size.
But being a tiny little device like that, it kind of looks like you could shove it in the back of the desktop PC here and just expect no one to notice it ever.
Yeah. Well, I have mine. Usually, I have mine plugged into this USB extension on my desk, so I can just tap.
And then what's the point of the low profile on this again? What's the point of the low profile on this again? I wouldn't want to keep anything in a device because that defeats the purpose of the device.
Well, and no, see, that's what I was.
These are my keys, dude.
I use it for two-factor or complex stuff. So if I use the static password for you to be able to get into the laptop, I have the static password plus a phrase. So I use the phrase and the static password to make it extremely long, so it's impossible to brute force. But you can't just use the key and be able to get into my laptop.
Okay. I was gonna say, but if it's just for that, yeah. I was gonna say because I just set something else up on it, like another thing today, and it was like I was like, oh yay, I have the option to use a device, and I can just plug this in instead of doing the NFC thing. Yeah.
If you're only using Google Chrome and only using things like Google and GitHub and Dropbox, you can get this one as well, which only does the U2F, but it's $17, so it's much cheaper.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it's good for everyone. Now, let me see. Now the question is,
Doesn't do any of the other stuff though. So just
yeah.
point that
okay,
out.
the question is, which program would I have used to back up my YubiKey data? Is it the
You would
Neo
have had to,
Manager? Is it the Neo Manager that does that?
no, the personalization tool is what you would have used to create it. To back it up, you would have had to written it down or taken a screen capture of it.
I think I have a screenshot somewhere.
Everything is buffering because Michael is trying to do stuff on his computer.
Is it? What? No, it should not be buffering. There's no drop frames. I have no drop frames. There's no drop frames, so it's not me.
You're not making it to Australia.
Nope.
Aussie, and Glenn says.
Guys want to see a 30-year-old MMO?
Huh? Like Lord?
No, this is apparently, it was available on Commodore 64 Quantum Link service, which started back in 1986. It's a game called Habitat, made by LucasArts. And
But
apparently it was.
It's not one that's been running for 30 years, which is.
Oh no, well no, I mean they had to recover it from a 300-pound computer apparently. So
Hey Michael, this is something more interesting.
but it's a walk down memory lane. I've never played it, so it's not really memory for me, but for those who did.
So private internet access, which is
I already know about
provider
it.
that Michael and I use,
Mm-hmm.
shut down their Russian servers because
This is just
Russia-
publicity.
Russia has a new law that forces people to provide logs for all internet traffic for up to a year.
Yeah, the one server that they hosted in Russia that probably was never ever used, but
Well, it's probably used by the people in Russia.
yeah, a few. I'm sure, but it's more of a PR stunt in my opinion. This whole release about this, and it's because of the news got a lot of coverage about the Putin statement there, but I honestly don't think this
That
impacted
is
their
still
bottom.
a pretty worthy news statement. Russia now
It
forces
is.
everyone to log internet traffic for a year.
Understandable, and I'm glad they took a position on it. And I hope other VPN providers in the nation do. But I mean, just shutting down a server. I don't know. I don't think it was that difficult for them. I don't think the loss to their bottom line was that dramatic as a result of that. But
the article
I was
does
just
say
thinking
that.
about this the other day.
I'm a little concerned about their.
Wait, what are you going to say, Proctor?
Private internet access mentions that some of the company's servers were seized by the Russian authorities recently without notice or any due process.
Yeah, but they claim that's not going to be an issue because they're because it's all anonymized. But there are no logging issues and some other things. I want to know exactly how deeply they've been independently verified. I know that's what they claim, but I still have my doubts. I saw an analysis with private internet access, and it wasn't as cheery as sometimes they advertise it to be. It wasn't by any means perfect, although in truth, none of the VPN providers provided absolute perfection in their implementations, and so it may have been a hard bar to even live up to. But regardless,
Well, hey Nick, how much did you have deep packet inspection on for my devices while I was connected to your network?
I did. I think.
My phone, you would have seen all the stuff that I went to because I didn't have VPN stuff on that. But my two laptops, you shouldn't have seen much more than a little bit of VPN traffic and maybe some Linux traffic.
Let me just take a look right quick. Okay, now I'm let's see. Last 7 days we used? Has it been that?
by the way, OPN Sense, do you like the new interface and stuff like that? They've made some dramatic improvements since I last really delved into it. I went back to do some inspection of my setup there, and they've made some. The dashboard's a lot more impressive.
Well, I was glad that
packages.
one of the recent updates made it so that you could move widgets around on the dashboard.
Yeah, well, exactly. Of course, that's what I'm talking about. So I can make it look nice. Because they didn't do that before, and the initial layout of the dashboard was pretty horrible.
I haven't updated it in a bit though, so.
Well, take a look. I'm very impressed. A lot of the features just seem to me to be much clearer, much better, much easier to access. It's not as complicated as they've further improved it being it's less complicated, but more like you would expect, I guess. I don't know. The interface was a little bit too bizarre for me initially, and I was hoping that they would improve that. And guess what? They did. So, yay. And they
Apparently in the new, I'm sorry. Yeah, we don't care about that. Apparently in the new Unify controller, I am not able to see that information while you're not connected to the network anymore. At least figured it out. I have logs. Let me figure out what how to get to those. That's a whole like Linux file system thing, an SSH thing, and I don't even know where they are actually. I don't really do them, unless someone's actually here. I do remember looking at something you had, and just going, oh, blah, 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 because I wanted to go through and name some of the devices. And like I even cut Johnny's phone off at one point because I was like, whose phone is that? And I blocked it. And I went down and I was like, whose phone lost the internet? And Johnny's like, me. And I'm like, all right. So I ran back up here and I labeled hers so I knew who was doing what.
Mhm.
I get sketchy about stuff, especially with that open access point on my TV.
Mhm.
You can't disable. Well, it's not open, but it's anyway. Oh, I meant to ask you. I'll do it later, I guess.
Okay. Well, we have reached our hour time limit, so if we want to go ahead and wrap it up, or if we have anything else.
I meant to ask you to try to break into that when you were here and into the TV.
Oh.
Forgot. Besides, you didn't configure my wireless controllers for the Pi retro thing, so.
You should do that. That's why I gave you the Pi, so that you can have something to play with and learn
I
Linux.
have no time.
If I did it for you.
Oh, you gave him a Pi? You gave him a Pi?
Yeah. And then he gave it back to me and was like, set it all up with this stuff.
Hey, dude, I just
He didn't give me the controllers.
I just recently redid my.
I didn't give you the Pi for the emulator. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want to do emulator with it.
Okay, so I recently set up RetroPie again, and I had previously, I think I had version 3.5 or something like that, maybe even 3.4. Moved it up to 3.8, and they've actually got 4.0 beta now. I was impressed with the dramatic improvements in 3.8 and with the Bluetooth stack that they've done. I have a Bluetooth wireless retro gaming gamepad, and it's been pretty cool. And it was far more easier to set it up when I did this distribution. It worked almost immediately, and I also noted that there wasn't issues with, like, I had to have it on when it was booting up before and stuff like that, and it wouldn't remember the controller, all sorts of things. None of that. I've had a virtually seamless experience with it. The only thing, certain controllers you do have to edit. The RetroArch .cfg file and
Oh, wow.
and change the line, but other than that, it works really really well. But anyway, that's what I would use it for your kids, John or Nick. I would have the retro gaming. I've been enjoying playing a lot of old and Nintendo games.
Well, for kids, I guess it's for Jade.
Oh, well, Jade will love it too. I mean,
And the kids.
playing all the retro gaming stuff, and I'll tell you, it was look.
That's what I meant
Like
to
I
share
remembered.
earlier, Brantley. That
Yeah,
was the
this
other
is
thing
really
I had.
So, and actually, I've already taken advantage of part of this because I subscribe to Google Play Music, and because of that, I've been able to add my other account to Google Play Music and add Johnny to Google Play Music, and it only cost me $5 more a month. Plus,
Yeah, unless you have a
Red
Google
for
Apps
everything.
account.
I get YouTube Red for everything too.
Yeah, unless you have a Google Apps account. You
What
can
is
have
Google?
people on.
But yeah, you can't use
the
Google
family
Apps.
plan with an apps account.
Yeah, you can't use Google Apps account. But you're not supposed to use Google Apps account for family stuff.
But I do because
Yeah, but you're not supposed to.
because they don't have them for non-families. I mean, it's like business. What if my family has a domain name? I mean, come on.
Then you forward it to a Google.
No, that's ghetto.
Well, either way, that's what you have to deal with. But it is extremely nice that they're going to allow us to now share purchased apps. That's what I'm most excited about. You only have to buy an app one time, and your entire family can have it. That makes sense.
Just throw Google Apps.
Now I bought a game, and everyone here can play the game. So that's awesome. But all right, let's wrap her up for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. I hope everyone has a great Prime Day, and maybe the deals will get better as the day
I'm
progresses.
hoping. Keep a watch on it, and if you have the Foolish IT Amazon affiliate thingy, then just click the button in your Chrome.
You can just check it randomly. So, all right, everyone, thanks for joining us. See you later.
See yas.
Oh, am I shutting it off? Crap.
Yes.
Did you shut it on?
Yeah, hold on one moment.